Hi guys, it's Amara Pay, coming to you for the first time in a long time. I'm just recording this especially for my Australian friends and followers, the Australian community. We've just gone through, another election, another time of uncertainty, and that's been building for months, if not a year or two. And I wanted to do a reading and channel some information for you that would address some of the concerns that I've been hearing about. Excuse me while I just let my hair out. I've been in polite society all day, so and I'm still with polite society, but I know you guys appreciate this just like I do, letting it all hang out. And so I just wanted to, as I said, with this energy reading and whatnot, and I'll be using the cards as well. I've already done the drop, and what came out, you're just going to go, yep, know it, feel it. It's just incredible what's come out. And, it is a hopeful message. It's always hopeful. For me, with the way that I'm feeling about the world at the moment and current events all over, not just here in our own little patch of earth, I am hopeful. There are so many people out there, and so many organisations now who are really, and people from all walks of life, from all creeds, all nations, all backgrounds and beliefs, who are just there focused on being better, doing better, loving better, and communicating better. And I think that any small step that we can individually take is so vital and so important, not just to ourselves, but to our little communities, to our national community, and to our global community. It's just so very important. And you don't have to do big things. You can just post a video on Facebook or YouTube and send some love that way. Smile when you're walking down the street. Put some money away for a rainy day for yourself. That's another form of love. So it's so very important that we allow ourselves to do that, even if it makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable. Just baby steps. That's all you need to take, is baby steps. So anyway, let's get back to the reading. What came down, and look, a lot of you are going to read this and go, yeah, no, I get that. I completely understand. So I actually dropped the cards last night, and I've been looking at, yesterday, and I looked at them all during the day. I walked past them and looked at them and just waited for more stuff to come through. And let me tell you guys, there's no reason for us not to be hopeful. Absolutely no reason. Even when something may hold a negative charge with regards to our perception of said person, said situation, said election result, the best that we can do is sit back and not engage in negative emotional activity and negative energy exchange. Because when you do that, well, you're actually, and I'm sorry if this offends, but I'm going to say it, I have to say it, you're actually becoming part of the problem. You're building on that which you already don't want. Now, you need to ask yourself, honestly, do I want to do that? It's okay to feel disappointment. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to go, oh, gosh, and feel a sense of hopelessness, but don't live there. Then the next question you need to ask yourself is, what can I do on a personal level? What can I do to assist this? How can I add love to this? And you know what? Sometimes the answer is as simple as taking a step back, taking a few breaths, and just going, well, okay, this is the situation, this is what's happened, right? Because unless something drastic happens, it's not going to be changed, okay? So how can we add love? How can we not engage in building negativity around the circumstances that are around us? And the way to do that is to mindfully disengage your energy when you feel like or become aware of you going down that negative path and transacting being responsible for energy transactions that may hold a negative charge. There is that saying, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So let's all be part of the solution. You know, you don't, that doesn't mean you have to like what's happening, but you do need to start loving yourself, because when you can recognize that spark and when you can love yourself, then it doesn't matter what's out there, you learn to love others. And that's because you've recognized that spark within them, because you've worked so hard to uncover your own. All right, my darlings, here we go with the cards that have come down. Now, I did ask, when I was shuffling the decks, I've used two decks, one to tell the story and the other one to complement and or dig a little bit deeper. So I asked about the current energy surrounding Australia at this point in time. Now, it's the 21st of May 2019, and I know all of you who are watching this and who have engaged with me over the last several months when I've been on sabbatical, I suppose, and, you know, my social media hiatus. We've had conversations, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff to be worried about, but you know what? Don't worry. It's all okay. It really is all okay. And if you're doing that inner work, as I said before, you're flying. You absolutely are. Okay, so let's get back to the cards. There's some love. It's just such a beautiful story that's come out. I've been hanging on this for almost 2 days, and it's time for me to share. Okay, so the first card that came out was this beautiful card, Angel of Strength. Now, those of you who know how I read cards, I don't use the guidebooks. I intuitively read the cards and then discuss what is coming down to me at this point in time. And, you know, this is where we are. This is where we are, and where we have been actually for the last couple of years. Now, you'll notice that this card, I'm really drawn to the 5 and the 0. Okay, and you know, for those of you who know how I do my alpha numeric analysis, you know that I see numbers and letters differently and look at the patterns in that. And what I see is there are a lot of people who felt unheard in the near past, or even, you know, for future earlier generations. But the sense that this card gives me is Angel of Strength, and the numbers. I'm really being drawn towards telling you that there are those of us who were resting. We were resting. Some of us may have withdrawn ourselves to nurture ourselves, to battle with our shadow, to dance with our demons, to explore ourselves and to build ourselves up in preparation for what we want to do now. And the 5 is generally, in traditional numerology, 5 I believe talks about just that pause before you take action. Now you'll see here there was a pause, and now there's a completion with the 0. So we've come full circle, guys. We're starting a new cycle, and a lot of the information that's coming through, and there's lots of good information if you search for it, what you resonate. All the high vibe stuff that I've found have echoed this. They've been saying, yep, we're really ramping up now. So those of us who have felt the need to rest and to pull back are now coming through, and we're really carrying humanity. And we're doing that because we know ourselves better. So this Angel of Strength, that's what we are, guys. We're earth angels, we're wave showers, we're light workers, and we hold that, not just for ourselves, but for other people, because we know how to hold it for ourselves. So, yay us. Yes, let's go. Let's do this. So, and of course, we've got the divinity here and the earthliness, and a balance between what is very obviously feminine energy, the divine feminine, and this physical masculine there. We're walking together now, guys, okay? You look at this beautiful angel. She's not afraid. She's not afraid of this. And we see the beautiful, gorgeous, king of the jungle, the lion, coming out in all his maleness and his strength and, his ferocity if it's needed to get things done. So we're walking forward now in this unity. And that unity within ourselves, okay? This is not just about men and women working together. It's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than that. But we start with the basics. We start with creating that balance in ourselves. And then 2 cards after that came down, okay? Broken heart and deceit. Now, to me, this really talked about what the reason that we had to, pause, the reason that we had to pause was so that this circle, this cycle could come full circle, okay, with the 5-0 there. Because what we were witnessing was a lot of heartbreak, was a lot of sadness and grief and mourning, and not just on personal levels, although I know I've done a lot of that over the last couple of years, and a lot of healing, because we were dealing with deceit on a lot of levels in our lives, professionally, you know, in your jobs, in your careers. And that was just, and what was happening there was this clearing. Stuff was being brought to the surface, and it had to be. And thank goodness it had to be. Let's all say, yes, thank you to those lessons, because we've come out the other side now. We went into, you know, hibernation, and now we're walking forward. We're ready. This is who we are. This is who we are, okay, individually and as a collective. This is who we are. Whether we realise it or not, I know that a lot of you are catching glimpses, and more than a few of you are truly walking this. And, you know, I'm so proud in some small way to be able to connect with you on some level, even if it's in our dreams. If that's all it is, that's amazing too, because our collective energy is really helping to heal what needs to be healed. And if we hadn't had this to push us, in every area of our lives, then what would we be doing? Well, we'd probably still be in hibernation, because it gets comfortable, doesn't it? So all our uncomfortableness that we felt with the heartbreak and loss and the mourning, you know, and we're mourning as a nation as well. We need to really start thinking about the energies that are in the earth. You know, there's lots of places around our own country, Australia, and around the world that have absorbed karmic energy with regards to you know, what's happened on that land and how people came to that land, and you know, all that absorption that went on, because that's what Mother Earth does. You know, it had to come back up, because we couldn't hide from it anymore. We couldn't hide from it anymore because, you know, we get comfortable, as I said before, and so we had to be really uncomfortable to make that choice, to actively engage ourselves in helping ourselves and others understand, in expressing love in as many ways as we can, and as in our own individual ways, and in ways that are specific to you, because that's what other people need to see. And how amazing is that? That's so grateful. So there's nothing but gratitude, honestly, in my heart for everything that's happened. I may not have felt it at the time, but, you know, hindsight being 2020, what a wonderful road we've travelled, and we're doing it together now, and there's a lot more of us who are walking towards enlightenment and fulfillment and sovereignty. So, you know, let's keep going, guys. And the card that came out, isn't this just so beautiful? It's one of my favourite cards in this deck. Look, it's the sun, guys, and look at that look at that divine goddess in that bowl. You know, it's obviously warm water. It's just like my dream right there. And, you know, she's supported by nature. She's supported by the sun. Everything is fresh. And look at that. It's on a number 1 card. How amazing is that? Now, in this deck, this is actually it would be equal to a major arcana in the traditional tarot, the sun. How freaking awesome is that? I love it. I just looked at the cards when they dropped down. I was like, yes, yes. You know, what a wonderful message I get to share. Now, the 2 cards that came down afterwards from a separate deck was the Spirit Whisperer. The Spirit Whisperer. Love this card. Look at her. Gorgeous. And the Metal King. Now, again, look at that. The perfect balance between divine feminine and divine masculine aspects. Honestly, and when I read you the words that are on these cards, you're just going to go, oh, yeah, it's perfect, Pay. It's perfect. Okay. So the Spirit Whisperer, we've got divine guidance and higher knowing. And, you know, it's on a 3 card. Look at that, guys. It's on a 3. Isn't she amazing? And look, I'm going to be a little bit egotistical here, but I saw I saw this card and I'm like, oh, wow, this could almost be a personal reading for me, and this could be me, you know, as much as the Metal King could also be my other aspect, the aspect that needs to come out and be strong and do whatever it needs to do to help protect and serve my divinity and my divine feminine sacredness. Yeah? So anyway, so we've got divine guidance and higher knowing. Now that tells me, and it's on a 3 card. So we're talking about the Trinity. We're talking about mind, body, spirit connection here, and it's all coming together. So when you look at, we've got the angel of strength, okay? That's where we were. We rested. We went into hibernation because we knew that what laid ahead of us, the journey to get through the heartache and the deceit and the mourning, well, we needed to build our reserves up so that we could come out the other end. Some of us were limping. I was probably limping and bloody from some of the battles that I fought, internal and external, right? Your own demons are generally the strongest, yeah? We had to go into hibernation and build up our strength so that we could fight the good fight, so that we could deal with what was uncovered and what was coming up and what we were presented with, so that when it all came out and when it all came to light, we could feel empowered, renewed and refreshed. Okay, and we all know how important the sun is and how important the water is and their relationship. If you're watching this, I don't need to go into that. So I just love that story came out. And then we get, again, mirrored from, the masculine and feminine there, the divine aspects, we have it mirrored again. So yes, it's all coming into balance. And the reason that is so is because, we're taking on what we've learned from the shadows, from our broken hearts, from our lessons of grief, from the deceit that we were faced with or that we were putting ourselves through. Self-deceit can be quite difficult to manage sometimes and to admit to. And that's okay. Look, we all do it. Okay? And it's just learning. That's all it is. It's learning. Okay? So Spirit Whisperer, higher knowing and divine guidance. I just adore her, that beautiful goddess. Look at her. And then she's come out with the Metal King, who talks about discipline and armor and boundaries. So what he tells me when he comes down with this card after the other 4 that I just presented to you on camera is that, this isn't about... This isn't a story. Now, our new story, our new narrative, our higher awareness, now road to ascension and spiritual sovereignty as interdimensional beings having a human experience is not about letting down all our boundaries. It's about making them more fluid so that we can navigate, so that we don't, run into dead ends, but we find other ways to deal with things. We find more loving ways. And, the discipline, we do need to have a sense of strength, and we do need to have discipline around our own practices, our own spiritual practices, our own mindfulness practices and consciousness, higher consciousness and awakening practices. It's really important to have some discipline around that and to know why you're doing it. And, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you encounter, wonderful practices that just don't resonate with you. Now, that is a clear sign. If that was me, that would be a clear sign to me that I'm not ready for it, or it's just not how my best self can come forward most effectively, okay? Or it could be that I'm in fear of it or that I'm judging it in some way. So whatever my answer to that sensation is, that awareness is, I need to have discipline with myself, self-discipline around really being honest with myself and asking myself why. Why is that challenging me? Why is it challenging me? Or why am I in judgment of it? Or why is that not resonating? Now, you don't need to keep asking yourself why, and going down the why rabbit hole. There's no, don't do that. That'll just lead you, down some path, and then you're going to forget the question you asked. Who's done that? Me. All right. So this is really about having that discipline, knowing that too. It's okay to consciously and with awareness and in a very evolved way, it's okay to defend yourself or to stand up for what you believe in. As long as you can do that and have a loving exchange about that, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, this is not about putting other people down or pushing other people away. This is about looking at the whole and really reading the energetic interplay and really asking yourself, what is it that I'm being shown here and why is it affecting me this way? Okay, very simple to do, not always easy, but very simple to do. Okay, so I'm stoked with all the cards that have come out. Okay, they really are talking about the journey that we've had and I did ask this for our country, but you know, this is mirrored all around the world. It's happening everywhere and it's been happening for the last several years, okay? But we're really feeling it now because a lot of us have taken that time to just pull into ourselves, you know, withdraw our energy a bit and not engage in all the negativity that we were being shown. And we've done that work and we're ready to bust out now. We're ready to come and say, you know what? It's not okay. It's not okay, but it's not okay. However, I'm going to find a way to love you anyway. Okay? I'm going to find a way to love you anyway. All right. Now, the cards on the bottom of the deck. So from the first deck, what came out was the thinking man. The thinking man. Okay? And I love this. Now, the thinking man to me, and certainly around the question that I asked, it really spoke to me about the collective coming through and really looking at particular issues and putting not only our minds to it to resolve, thank you. Thanks, guys. To resolve particular issues within ourselves so that can then be reflected outwardly. But also to work together, to find ways of all of us working together as a collective to raise our awareness levels around particular issues. And, you know, there are people not just in this country, but around the world who are working so hard to do that. And just because they feel that it's time. You know, we're all coming out of the woodwork. So, you know, you're really spoilt for choice, guys, with regards to how you get your information and who you choose to walk with. And that is just fabulous. That's what we want. We want to be spoilt for choice. And we want to create a world where there's acceptance and the exchanging of energies, you know, in a fairly neutral way, that holds no judgment. That holds no judgment. Thanks, guys. That's very important. And the other card on the other card on the bottom of the deck was the Well Watcher. Okay, you know, do you remember the wishing wells? I think they're still around. The wishing wells where you just used to go up and, you know, chuck a coin in, make a wish. Yeah. Well, this is really about trust. This is a card of trust. Okay, and about divine interaction and having an awareness of the divine and understanding that there is a plan. There is a plan and we're all role players in it. Good, bad, ugly, we're all there and the very beautiful. We're all playing our part, and thank goodness there are people who have taken on the role of the politician that's not liked. Thank goodness that there are people I'm aware of that are taking on the role of being a big corporate executive that you know, runs their business with as little compassion as possible and no ethics. Thank goodness. Thank goodness that I'm being shown that so that I can no longer be in judgment of it. Because if that person wasn't playing their part, I wouldn't have an opportunity to learn. So this really is about trusting in the plan and our higher wisdom, knowing that it is accessible to all of us. And also that, you know, if you work hard enough on this self-realization road, eventually you'll be able to think it and make it so. Okay? We're getting there, guys. We really are. We're getting there. So, look, I don't want to keep you much longer. I've probably rambled on too much, but I'm so excited to be back on camera with you and in your faces so that you in return can be in mine. And as you know, I am running the mindfulness and meditation 8-week online free workshop, and this really is just about, you know, growing together. And I've been doing a lot of study for the months that I was away, that I pulled myself away. I really did a lot of research. I felt like I needed to get back into my books again and go through some of my old journals, you know, when I started my apprenticeship, and just seeing what I could pull together for you guys, because I know that there are a lot of people out there asking for this. So, and I'm happy to provide it. You know, it's my joy helping people this way. And why wouldn't we do stuff that makes us happy? Why wouldn't we do it? Right? Such a simple question. Anyway, look, I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. Please make sure you, you know, put questions in the comments after you've read this, or you know, get a conversation started, and just remember, you know, don't judge, just be open to it. Open your heart, open your mind, and great things will happen. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye guys.